And now it is my pleasure to introduce Assistant Secretary Marie Royce to provide closing remarks.
Good morning, distinguished guests, and thank you, Mrs. Trump and Secretary Pompeo, for joining us today. On behalf of the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, it's my great pleasure to be with you in celebration of this year's remarkable International Women of Courage. To the awardees, I know I speak for everyone gathered here. You have our deepest admiration and appreciation for your commitment, passion, and sacrifice. You are making a difference. And I hope that today reflects our deepest gratitude for your contributions in your communities and beyond. I was so pleased to meet each of you earlier this week and hear of your incredible impact. We have a shared commitment to your work and aspirations for the positive change you are fostering at home and around the world. As President Trump has noted, by investing in women around the world, we're investing in our families, we're investing in prosperity, and we're investing in peace. At last year's IWOC ceremony, we acknowledged Royce for her work in Afghanistan. During an event on International Women of Courage program, she described peace not as just building a project, but rather building a culture. Today, you join the illustrious ranks of courageous women from around the world who have received this recognition and who work towards building that culture every day. And I'd like to take the opportunity to explain to our guests a little more about what lies in store after this morning's ceremony. The awardees are taking part in an International Visitor Leadership Program, an IVLP as we call it, which is a professional program, a professional exchange program sponsored by the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. After this very exciting week in Washington, D.C., awardees will meet professionals in their respected fields in some of America's greatest towns and cities, including Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Pensacola, Portland, Seattle, and San Diego. Since the inception of the International Women of Courage Award in 2007, the IVLP has hosted awardees in 36 cities across the United States. International Women of Courage meet and share ideas with Americans who work on similar issues, from increasing international security to advancing the rule of law and human rights to combating gender-based violence and promoting education, entrepreneurship, and women's economic empowerment. These new relationships with Americans will lead to ongoing cooperation in finding solutions to global challenges here in the United States and in countries around the world. Alumna of the 2017 International Women of Courage program said, "Courage is contagious." This year's honorees are living proof that she was right. As they embark on their IVLP travels, I know they will inspire Americans they meet to be equally impacted in their endeavors, and that courage will give heart to a new generation that brings about positive change and peace. And I'd like to conclude by saying to you, the 2019 International Women of Courage, may we each aspire to be models of courage in service to each other, in emulation of your example. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you again for your very courageous efforts. And now I'd like to invite you to gather for a photo on stage here with Secretary Pompeo and Mrs. Trump. Thank you.